I'm Swan Marion, bookworm cowboy, here at Barnes & Noble. And I'm about to read a book to you. It's called The Trumpet of the Swan by Elwyn Brooks White. E.B. White, one of my favorite authors. Author of Stuart Little, Charlotte's Web, and this book, Trumpet of the Swan by, yeah. Now let's read a chapter called Chapter 11, Camp Kookooskoos. Camp Kookooskoos was on a small lake deep in the woods of Ontario. There were no summer cottages on the lake, no outward motors, no roads with cars rushing by. There was a wilderness lake, just right for boys. Mr. Beaver left Sam and Lewis at the end of a dirt road, and they finished their journey to camp by canoe. Sam sat in the stern and paddled away. Lewis stood in the bow and looked straight ahead. Here's a picture of Sam in the back with the oar and Lewis, the swan. The camp consisted of a big log cabin where everybody ate, 7 tents where the boys and the counselors slept, a dock out front, and a prairie out back. The woods closed in all around, but there was a bare spot that made into a tennis court, and there were plenty of canoes in which to take trips to other lakes. There were about 40 boys. When Sam's canoe grounded on the sandy beach next to the camp dock, Lewis stepped ashore wearing his slate, his chalk pencil, and his trumpet. About 20 boys rushed down the landing to see what was going on. They could hardly believe their eyes. "Hey, look what's here!" one of the boys yelled. "Bird!" cried another. "Look at the size of him!" Everybody crowded around Lewis, wanting to get a close look at the new camper. Sam had to push some of the boys back to keep Lewis from getting crushed. "Take it easy, will ya?" Sam implored. That evening, after supper, the director of the camp, Mr. Brickle, built a big campfire in front of the main lodge. That evening, after supper, the director of the camp, the boys gathered around. They sang songs and toasted marshmallows and swatted mosquitoes. Sometimes you couldn't understand the words of a song because the boys sang with marshmallows in their mouths. Lewis did not join the group. He stood by himself at a little distance. After a while, Mr. Brickle rose to his feet and addressed the boys and the counselors. "Call your attention to a new camper in our midst, Lewis the Swan. He's a trumpeter swan, a rare bird. You are lucky to have him. I have employed him at the same salary as I pay my junior counselors, $100 for the season. He is gentle and has a speech defect. He came here from Montana with Sam Beaver. Lewis is a musician. Like most musicians, he is in need of money. He will wake you at daybreak with his trumpet. He will call you to meals. And at night, when you are dropping off to sleep, he will play taps. That will bring the day to a close. I caution you to treat him as an equal and to treat him with respect. He got quite a wallop with those wings. I now introduce you for your listening pleasure. Lewis the Swan. Take a bow, Lewis. Lewis was embarrassed, but he came forward and bowed. Then he raised his trumpet to his mouth and blew a long When he finished, from the opposite shore of the lake there came the echo. The boys clapped. Lewis bowed again. Sam Beaver, sitting with the others, his mouth full of marshmallows, was delighted that his plan had succeeded. At the end of the summer, Lewis would have $100. A boy named Applegate Skinner stood up. "It's the Brinkle," he said. "What about me? I don't care. I don't like birds. I never liked them." "Okay, Applegate," said Mr. Brinkle. "You don't have to like birds. That's just the way you're feeling it. Everyone is taught to the likes and dislikes. I myself don't like pistachio ice cream or cherries. Me personally, I don't like the taste of cherries. That's just me. Yeah, it's just the taste of the cherries. Leave that in my mouth. So, whether you like him or not, he must be treated with respect. He's one of your counselors, you know." One of the new boys who had never been to camp before stood up. "It's the Brinkle," he said. "Why is this camp called Camp Couscous? What does Couscous mean?" "It's a native Canadian word for great horned owl," replied Mr. Brinkle. New boy thought about this for a minute. "Why don't you just call it Camp Great Horned Owl or instead of Camp Couscous?" "Because," replied Mr. Brinkle, "boys' camp should have an interesting name. Otherwise it doesn't sound interesting. Couscous is a terrific name. It has a long word, but it has 3 letters in it. It has 2 S's, 3 K's, and 6 O's. You won't find many names as weird as that. Weirder the name, better the camp. Anyway, welcome to Camp Couscous. At least it rhymes with moose. That's another good thing about it. And now it's time for everybody to go to bed. You may take a swim before breakfast tomorrow. And you don't need to wear your swim trunks. Just jump out of bed when you hear the trumpet of the Swan, strip off your pajamas, race to the docks, and dive in. I will be there ahead of you to celebrate my backflip from diving tower. Freshens me up for the hard day ahead. Good night, Lewis. Good night, Sam. Good night, Applegate. Good night, all. The light was fading. The boys straggled off to their tents in the darkness. The senior counselors sat together on the porch and smoked one last pipe. Sam crawled in under his blankets in tent 3. Lewis walked to a high, flat rock by the shore and stood there, waiting. When the lights were all out, he faced the camp, raised his horn to his mouth, and blew taps. Last note seemed to linger on the still waters of the lake. From their beds, the boys heard the beautiful sound. They felt sleepy and serene and happy. All but Applegate Skinner, who didn't like birds at bedtime. Even as Applegate was soon asleep along with the others in the tent. He was asleep and he was snoring. Some people who just don't like birds often snore. A deep peace fell over Camp Cuckoo's Goose. Here ends this chapter.